Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Midnight Connection, episode 14B. Nope, I did that in the wrong order.
No, that's wrong.
Fuck.
It's also going to screw the actual episoding in the.
Oh, you mean we can't do it? Oh, damn it. All right, forget it.
It's okay. Whatever. We'll just be off by one forever.
So no one heard any of this. I'll delete it, and then we'll do take two. Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Midnight Connection, the podcast where two dads talk about anything they want at the only time they can. Episode 15. How are you doing, Chris?
I am holding on by a thread right now.
Oh, really?
Work is kicking my ass.
It's the end of year grind.
Yeah, well, that and my coworker, awesome guy, is gallivanting around Germany right now. Very happy for him.
Mm-hmm. I can hear the happiness.
Sucks for me. No, I really am. He's an awesome guy.
It's always that end of time year where they're like, guys, you can't roll over all your personal days. So you have to use them by the end of the year or you're going to lose them. And all of a sudden, someone's like, I'm going to be gone for 5 days.
Yeah.
Gotta go.
That's basically what's happening. So I'm getting all the questions now.
Dang.
All of them.
Good thing you have all the answers, Chris.
Look at that. I just got a notice. Bloodborne is ready to play.
For those of you at home, Chris and I have been going back and forth on Bloodborne since I started it. I'm almost done with it. It's been very enjoyable. And now Chris has got the itch back. Right as I'm finishing it, too. It couldn't have been like halfway through the actual playing of the game.
Dude, it's not my fault, okay? Lies of P platinuming was taking longer than I thought.
That's fair. I've had a little bit more time since this past week. I've been dealing with extreme illness, ? But the COVID.
Not extreme.
I mean, yes, it is. Have you ever gotten it?
Yeah.
Was it shitty?
It actually was not that bad for me.
Wow, look at the flex on Chris.
Yeah, I mean, I don't,
He can swallow pills with no water, and COVID has no effect on this man.
I'm sure it's going to get me at some point and just it'll rend me asunder. But no, when I got it, it was I had a fever. It never got overly high, and I had a rough throat for as long as I had it. But that was pretty much it.
Well, that's good. Yeah, it was my second time.
Yeah, I mean, we can go into that story another day.
Sure.
About that COVID experience, because that was a shit show.
Yes, we should share original COVID stories. But luckily, I am recovering. You might hear my voice sounds the way it sounds right now. So that's why we split our last episode into 2 parts. Also, because our conversation got into it, and I think we ended up recording like a 3-hour podcast about our end of year wrap up. So we didn't want to rush in to make sure that no one got to the great content, and we split it up in 2. But we thought we would do an intro for this one and begin our shows like we always do, Chris, with a connection question. My question to you is, what is I won't put too much pressure on it, just a favorite holiday movie? And I don't mean, I want to specify when I say this, okay? Because this can be taken a lot of different ways.
Sure.
We're men with families now. The holidays have a different meaning, and movies have a different meaning when you're watching it with family and kids.
Indeed.
But I wanted to specifically relate to you. Like maybe when you were younger, you know what I mean? But like, it's a holiday movie for you. Does anything bubble to the surface automatically?
Not automatically.
Okay. Well, I can give you time to think.
Let me marinate on this a little bit.
So I am not the biggest holiday movie fan, But when I thought of this question and I ruminated for a second.
Nice.
Yes, thank you. That's
I
my big
considered
word of the
using
day.
that word. It's so funny you said it. I chose marinate instead.
The movie that came up for me is a movie that I will always watch, or always used to watch as a kid when it was on TV during the holidays, and loved it for everything that it was. And that was Jingle All the Way.
Really?
Do you remember Jingle All the Way?
I don't remember a lot about it, but I'm
Arnold
almost certain.
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Sinbad.
Good old
Phil
Sinbad.
Hartman. Rita Wilson. Like, so many amazing people in this movie. And the premise was that Arnold Schwarzenegger's marriage is like, I don't know, going through a tough patch. And there's like this neighbor who's like the perfect guy, is trying to hit on his wife.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, his kid just wants a Turbo Man doll figurine.
Yeah.
And it's like going around the town trying to get the toy, and then Sinbad somehow gets involved. I don't know. At the end of this movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger is in a full Turbo Man suit flying through the air, while Sinbad is dressed as the villain, also flying through the air in a parade. And it is just, I love it. I don't know what it is about. It's cheesy as fuck, but I love it.
Hey, I mean, you know, there's just a spot it gets.
It's always going to be a comedy movie for me.
Jingle All the Way. I don't remember too much about it, if I'm being honest.
Oh man, you got to watch it. It's a good family film too.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time for me too. I'm going to watch it with Stephanie and see if she finds it even remotely funny.
Yeah, I think she would.
We'll see. She did love Elf.
That's a great one.
That is a great one.
It's such a great one.
It's a great one, and it also has quality music in it too, which is
Yeah.
nice.
I gotta do it.
I
gotta do it.
Do it.
Fucking Die Hard, man.
Oh, you motherfucker. I was gonna say a no Die Hard rule, but you know what? I'll let it slide.
I gotta do it.
I mean, it's a great movie.
It's such a great movie.
I haven't seen it in so long.
You should watch it just for Alan Rickman.
I mean, that's the man.
You gotta honor the man.
That is the man. Yeah, no, that's a great movie. The dad from Family Matters is in it.
That's right. Shoot, I forget all these. Like, it's so funny to watch these movies again.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my gosh, it's this guy. And he's so young.
Yeah. No, that's a good choice. Bruce Willis was so young in that movie too.
He was. I don't know. Nothing else really jumps out to me though. I mean, the Home Alones are fine, but I'm not like crazy about them. They're fine,
Yeah.
I didn't get very attached to the classics either.
I was never a fan of the classics.
Yeah, it was never a, if we saw them, but it was never a thing. It's not a tradition for us.
Also, like the stop motion animated ones, which I'm sure can fall into the classics as well, but never been a fan. Like I said, for me, it has to be comedy adjacent.
There's nothing where I'm like, I just got to watch that because now it's the season.
Yeah.
I think Elf kind of approaches that for me now a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I do like now? Jingle Jangle.
What is that?
Have you watched that? It's on Netflix.
Nope.
You should watch it. I'll tell you why. The lead girl, there's a bunch of singing in it.
Okay.
She's fantastic. So I think in this movie, I think she's 13, maybe, but she's so talented as a singer, as an actor too. Yeah. I feel like this is not the last we've seen of her, especially in like theater style type things. So I think she does a bang up job. And Forrest Whitaker's in there.
Dude.
Anika Noni Rose is in there. Keegan Michael Kay is in there.
That's my guy.
Yeah, so he's in there too. You should definitely watch it.
Ricky Martin?
He plays the voice. Yeah. He's
what?
Yeah.
Is it animated?
It's not, but he voices a toy, basically.
Ah.
I don't think he's actually in it as a person. I don't believe, but yeah, it's a good one.
John Legend.
You know how they do that thing where like they have the the movie version or the theatrical version, whatever, and then they have
and
like
somebody singing like the release track.
yeah, I think that's where he comes in, but
Got you.
I'm not 100% sure about that.
All right. Well, we'll give it a shot.
But yeah,
I ain't
that's a
afraid to
fun one.
try it.
And the Fresh Prince mom, Felicia Rashad, is in there.
Oh.
Yeah, a lot of good folks.
So, guys, what you'll hear next is the conclusion to our end of year conversation. As always, we appreciate you guys and hope that you enjoy the content. And we'll be back next week with a brand new episode of The Midnight Connection. Any vacations you took this year or family trips?
We went to Seattle about a month. I think it was about a month after Callum was born. That was nice. I mean, we went there to say goodbye to Francis's grandmother, but there was a lot of family there, which is great. We traveled with only the one child. The other two stayed behind with my in-laws. So it was cool. It's always nice to go out there. I like the Pacific Northwest.
I've never been.
You know, a lot of people say Virginia has a lot of trees.
Yeah,
which is true. But the Pacific Northwest has like beautiful trees.
Yeah. Has like fucking forests.
Yeah, it actually looks nice. And it's kind of a weird thing to say, but it just there's a vibe about that area that's just really cool. And we've always enjoyed going up there, Seattle and Portland. We have family that lives out there, so
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's always a nice treat to get out there. I think that was. Did we have another trip this year? I don't think so because Frances was pregnant for the entirety of the year until June, and then we took the trip after. So yeah, I mean I think that was pretty much it. I don't think we went anywhere else. You guys had some good ones, right?
Yeah, I mean I would say we had 2 trips. The primary one was us going to Bonnaroo.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was in June. It was the first time Stephanie and I were away from Thea for any period of time.
Mm-hmm.
We were gone like I think 5 days, 6 days in total. It was a great experience. Stephanie had never been to a music festival before. So this was my 5th time. It was really dope. I think we've talked about it in an episode, so I don't need to go too deep into it. But yeah, I love doing that stuff. It's a mental recharge for me. It's difficult to camp out there. Stephanie was like probably the most prepared human being I've ever seen in my life doing that kind of shit. And it was good. It was really needed. And then last week or a couple weeks ago, we went to a lighthouse in northern Maryland, like at the northern tip of the Chesapeake.
Mm-hmm.
And that was nice because it was our first family trip with both of our families. So
Yeah.
Stephanie and I rented out the lighthouse to thank both of our parents for helping us take care of Thea for over a year.
That's awesome.
It was really nice. It was the first time that her side of the family and my side of the family like cohabitated for any amount of time. I think previously, maybe the most time we spent together was like 6 or 7 hours at like, some holiday event.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like a, getting to know,
yeah,
getting to live with one another after like 9 years of Stephanie and I dating. Her, as was the intro to the last podcast, her dad brought a case of wine. The man loves his wine. I respect it. I get to benefit from it. My mom does not drink that much, if at all. Bro, we killed that case of wine in 3 days.
I cannot believe.
There was one night that 5 of us drank 7 bottles.
I would be a hot mess, dude.
I was a hot mess. I mean, it's my story, so I can say it. I blacked out. I drank so much. Luckily, my wife was there to take care of me. Thank you, Steph. I love you. But no, I went in. we had good family bonding through our
That's good.
drunkenness, and
Yeah.
luckily, I'm not an angry drunk. I'm like a fun, emotional drunk. But
Everybody likes those.
the next day, Stephanie's dad felt terrible. My mom didn't get out of bed until like 2 p.m. My mom gets up 6 a.m. like every day.
Dang.
My mom was screwed, man. I, you know, I had my strategies to release the poison, so I didn't feel
Sure.
that terrible the next morning. But man, it was a good time. It was nice to be around family that much and see how much they love Thea. And honestly, like seeing the full effect of how Thea has brought both of our families together. Like I
Mhm.
even said it that day. I was like, or when we were all together, I don't know that I ever imagined a reality where like my Peruvian family would be like having such a good time and like living together for a couple days with like a family from a different culture, period. You
Mhm.
know?
Mhm.
Um not for anything other than just I don't know, I never thought about it like that. You know?
Yeah.
It's like when I got married to whoever I got married, it was just like, okay, that's your family, that's my family. That's
Right.
awesome. We all love each other. But now it's just like we're one family. And for someone who's grown up without a big family, really,
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool.
This is yeah.
And it's nice that Thea will have that,
Yeah.
like an actual large family for family events and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. We keep dying for, Francis's siblings to have some kids. There's a lot of steps to get there though.
There's a
So
process.
our kids are just gonna be old by the time. I mean, my niece and nephew are older than my kids by. I mean, not old enough to like just ignore them completely when we're around, but older for sure.
Mm,
Like twice the age right now. But speaking of Maryland, we actually did take we took a stay up in Maryland also along the Chesapeake at this really cool hotel there in Cambridge, and it's kind of on the edge of this. I think it's like a golf resort, and it's not too far away from this little quaint little town. And the kids loved it because we were just there, and they spent practically the whole time in the pool and doing some fun stuff there. So we want to go back someday.
that's
Um,
awesome.
it's just far enough to be. It really wasn't far. Like we don't want to go too far because Frances was pregnant, but
Yeah, of course.
just far enough to be out there. And
To feel like you've gone away.
yeah, we went somewhere. And
Hmm.
you pass this other town that's like apparently like really cool or a good like fishing kind of town. If you want to go there, charter some boats and stuff like that, you can. Um,
Wow.
but that was nice. It was a really good trip for us to just spend time as a family. You know.
Yeah. Growing up, I always saw or heard from like friends and stuff about like, oh yeah, we're going on like a family vacation with the so and so family. And in my head at the time, I was like, "There, what? You guys are just going with a different family, like on vacation? Like what? What the fuck is happening?"
Who does that?
And now that I'm a parent and I see other families, with kids and stuff, I'm like, man, it would be cool to do like a
It would,
different thing.
yeah.
It
It's the
would be
only
really
time.
cool to like to a resort or like go on a cruise or some shit.
Yeah, it would be.
I've never been on a cruise.
So I would recommend it, but Francis does not want to get on a cruise.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, if you want to go check it out, I've been on a few.
The only cruise I really, really wanted to do is an Arctic cruise.
Yeah. I want to do like, oh, yeah, you mentioned that before.
Yeah, I
Arctic
think I have.
cruise. Do that, or I like to do an Alaskan one to see the other parts of Alaska that we don't typically see.
Mm.
That would be awesome. It's cool when you've got like kids that are younger, not so kids that aren't old enough to get into their own trouble, basically. Because
There's a
there's
sweet
always stuff
spot.
happening. Yeah. there's always stuff happening on the cruise. Like food is, you get whatever you want for food. It's always there. You don't have to worry about that stuff. But yeah, there's tons of things going on all the time.
Yeah.
So especially if it's if they actually do stuff specifically for kids.
It's not like the kids can cool. Run off anywhere.
No, well, you hope not. That's why you need the ones that are like, too scared to go and do something stupid like that. I would probably hate going on a cruise with like older teenagers or something like that.
Oh my god.
That may not be that fun.
So let's take a look at a year in parenting.
Okay.
Now, you have a newborn. You also have 2 other kids.
Yep.
Remind 7 and 5?
7 and 5, yeah.
Oh, thank God. Yes. Memories.
Got it.
So how's this year been? I mean, for all the kids, I imagine every year is important. They're all going through changes. And this year, Benji and Io got a new sibling. It's a whole different dynamic now.
It is. So on that front, thankfully, the kids love Callum. Like, they just love him to death. So we're not getting any of the I need more attention type of reaction to a new kid.
That's awesome. Yeah.
They love him. They just kind of love him a little too much sometimes. Like they will like, as soon as if he's napping, they bother him like a little, like, oh, he's so cute. And then when he wakes up, they just like swarm the shit out of him.
Aww.
Which is really cute. But then sometimes it's like, I need some space. We need some
space,
like,
guys. Just a little bit.
But I'd much rather have that than have to deal with kids that resent the new baby. So.
Oh yeah.
So that's been good. Callum is great. He definitely, you know how it is with infants and newborns. They will test you, and it's not like they're doing it on purpose until they get about Thea's age. Then you're kind of like, you're doing this on purpose.
They do it on purpose, right? Like, it's not just me going crazy and like my small moments with my child. Like, they're fucking cunning, dude.
There's a point where they know. They figured it out. But Callum's not there yet. So, but it that doesn't make it any less hard, challenging when he's when something's happening. But all in all, it's been good. Awesome. He's healthy. He's happy. He's progressing as you would hope. And probably the biggest thing for us this year was getting our kids to Sunday school. And I say that because we homeschool them, so they don't go to any other school, official schooling or anything right now. So this was really their first exposure to anything that was like school.
Yeah,
and they love it. So
that's awesome.
Like they're excited for Sunday school every week, even though we kind of operate on a West Coast schedule. Don't ask me why. It's just how we work. So we got to wake them up at the ass crack of dawn, because we go to mass first, and then they go to Sunday school, and Sunday school starts at like 8:45.
Holy crap!
So we go to an early mass, and we can see it at the end of the day. These kids are just loopy, but they're excited for. They love it, and they always they talk about the activities they're doing. They're meeting other kids and talking with other kids, and it's just so cute. It's so cute.
That's awesome.
They get homework, they get their assignments, and we're like, hey, you got this stuff to do. They dig it, so they sit down and they do it, no problem. That's been great, and like their memory is crazy because they know all these different like prayers now, and some of them we didn't even actually sit down and try to teach them. Yeah, they just kind of. I'm like, wow. And when we were at Thanksgiving, they would bless the food and say some prayers, and people were like, dude, I can't even tell you how long it took me to remember that one. And they're
awesome. They're
like
just
right off.
in it.
Yeah, it's cute, but it's been a really nice change. Like that school has been really good, and that we really love that church. So
That's awesome, man.
but I will say it has definitely been harder to carve out time with them for sure. Like with everything going on. I mean, I work from home 100%, but still, like I'm in more meetings than I have ever been in in my life. So that's been an adjustment because I'm here, but I'm not always available when I'm here. And just by the time I get out and having to take care of everything else, and then like right now, I spend the late night hours doing other stuff. So it's still difficult to really carve out good quality time with them. They are self-sufficient enough to do whatever it is they want to do, but I don't want to just write it off that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's been the challenge, and the kids are like 7 and 5 now, so like Io she's definitely feeling new things, but thankfully she doesn't always express it right away, but she tries. Sometimes it just takes her a little time to get to talking, but once she does, she will express it, try to identify it and define it. And there are times when she'll feel something and then she'll like come to one of us and just like straight up just say it. I'm like, that's great.
That is great.
But sometimes navigating that stuff, because this is all new to us,
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, navigating all that stuff can be so hard sometimes.
I can only imagine, man. I mean, I'm going through like round 1.
Yeah. Yep. Just getting warmed up. Benji is he's a sensitive boy, we're finding. Like he feels things pretty hard. And so like we were watching Lego Masters today. And so if you haven't picked up on this, guys, Benji absolutely loves insects and bugs. Like he's straight up going to be an entomologist.
That's awesome.
But so we're watching Lego Masters, and in this show, people are challenged to build certain things out of Lego, and then there's a winner at the end. So in this one, they were tasked with or challenged with making a roller coaster, and this team decided to make one that had like a kiddie roller coaster that had ladybugs and butterflies and all this stuff, and he was all about it. So he's rooting for them, and this is semifinals, so the competition's stiff. And we kind of knew it was coming too, because we were like, Benji, if they don't win, it's okay.
It's like absolutely not.
Yeah. But as we suspected, they didn't win, spoiler alert. And he got so sad about it.
Oh.
Because he was just like, he loved their model, and he just got like super bummed out about it. So he takes stuff like that really pretty hard. And so we're trying to figure out the best way to navigate that with him. It doesn't usually take him long to get out of it, but when it happens, like he'll walk away and find a place to sit, and just kind of wallow in his feelings. It's interesting, man. I'm telling you, fun times ahead.
It has been a year with Thea in the best of ways. I mean, obviously, first time parent trying to figure this out as it goes. I think my whole life, I've always said that one of my biggest skills is adaptability. And I think this year has really put that to the test.
Yeah.
Like, how adaptable can I be? And also, where is the line that I need to stop being adaptable and need to be more rigid? And that's, I think, what I've been learning through parenting this year. Because I'm like I don't want to, lax is not the right way of phrasing it, but like, I'm the one that like after Thea's been crying for like 2 hours, I'm like, all right, yo, like she's been fucking crying for 2 hours. I'm just gonna hold her, and it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Which solves the problem of the moment, but fucks the rest of my life. So as I am learning through my mistakes, and it sucks. It sucks because I don't I know when Thea's older, like I'm gonna be not the asshole, but like because I'm just such a realist
Yeah.
that like that's just the way I'm gonna be. That I don't wanna be the asshole now. And I'm definitely well, Stephanie and I are both paying the price for it. Stephanie is so much better at it than I
Mhm.
am. She just has like a stronger will, right? Because obviously it hurts her just as much as it hurts me to like hear Thea crying or like, suffering or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
But she's like stone faced. And she's like, it needs to happen this way. And I'm like, fuck, man, I'm not gonna tell you no. I'm scared of you.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
remember we Stephanie was really like gung ho about sleep training Thea. And before Bonnaroo, I was on my trip to New Mexico. And during that trip, Stephanie sleep trained Thea. Like she got it to work.
Mhm.
She got her to go down, stay down, sleep throughout the night because Thea would wake up like 3 or 4 times at night. And when I came back from New Mexico, I was like, holy shit. Like, I don't know what you did. Maybe I got to leave more often because this is amazing. Right. And then we went to Bonnaroo like a couple of weeks after that, and it
Yeah.
fucked it all up.
Yeah.
Because then we weren't,
All that work.
we were gone for like 5 days. When we came back, she was like, holy shit, I didn't realize you were gone until this minute. I'm never going to let you go. There was
Oh,
like
no.
There was like 3 weeks where she would not sleep unless she was physically touching one of us, even if
Wow.
it was like just back to back, or like
Yeah.
she would be sprawled out and just like, like
Yeah.
what's that portrait of like on the Sistine Chapel with like God and the dude and they're like barely
Yeah.
touching my ear.
Just man.
It's just enough to know to know that I'm there. And that was really difficult. Stephanie wakes up early for work. She's putting in a lot of the physical time for bathing and putting her to bed if I'm at rehearsal and stuff like that. So I'll end up staying up until like 4 in the morning, taking care of Thea. And then her and I will kind of switch off there. But to keep that up for an entire year is an insane ask.
Yeah.
But on the other side of that, I am really happy to see this year pushing Stephanie and I to like not be afraid of things when it comes to Thea.
Mhm.
I think this is where my strength is because I will be the one to be like, Thea needs to eat solid foods like now, right?
Uh-huh.
Like I know it's scary. Yes, she might choke, but we need to start this process. Or like, certain things like that, like we need to start getting her to walk, or we need
Mhm.
to put her in swim class. Doing these things that push the bounds. Because if we both listen to our moms, they're like, oh my God, no, she's
Yeah.
a baby. You can't put her in a swim class at 7 months. You bet your
Yeah.
ass we can. And
Yeah.
we did. And what happened when we put her in that swim class? She fucking thrived. She was swimming better than
Nice.
like all of the people in her class. And I was like, how is this pot? This water is freezing fucking cold. She knows nothing. And she's out here kicking first day. And so it's really
Nice.
rewarding when I get to step outside my own fear and doubt and be like, she can handle this. And then she does it. She's
Yeah.
so smart. Now she's entered her manipulation phase. And as a manipulator myself, she's impressive. She got game,
She
you
got
know?
the game.
She got game. She
Respect.
got the gene. And she is such a drama queen, dude. Like today, she's a tall ass baby and she's heavy. And
Uh-huh.
so it's hard for grandmas to pick her up. And she just wants to be picked up all the time. And I'm like, Thea, stop. Just let grandma be. She doesn't have to pick you up. She'll be like, bum, which in Vietnamese is like up.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay.
And so I'm like, I'm not going to pick you up. And when I say I'm not going to pick you up, she like ragdolls to the floor, like, for like 5 seconds, and then looks up at me because I don't say anything. And I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, bum. I'm like, no. Ragdoll the second time. I'm like, all right, dude. All right. And as we're sleep training her, she knows how to get our attention.
Mm-hmm.
Now, since we have the monitor, when we're sleep training her, she will cry, wait, because we were watching her on the fucking monitor, wait, looking at the door, and then creep towards the door and cry louder, and then wait.
Oh, man.
And then she'll cry, and I swear to God, like some fucking poltergeist shit, she turns and looks directly into the camera.
Oh, God.
Like I'm like, is our daughter possessed?
That's a little scary.
Dude, it's so scary. I understand it's because there's like a little green light at the tip of it, but it is fucking frightening because, you know, the monitor turns off, like the screen turns off, but you can still hear the sound.
Yeah.
So when you hear the sound, you can click the button and the monitor just turns on. I'll click the button and she is stone-faced, Mona Lisa fucking style, staring into my soul. And I'm like, this little girl's possessed.
You're going to do that one time, she's going to be like right up on the camera.
Dude, it is. I cannot. And last week, we talked about it a little bit, but I ended up cutting it out of the episode for time. But last week, she figured out she can gag herself.
Oh, yeah. No,
and
that's
she
terrible.
figured out that by gagging herself, it is the best way to get our attention. So she doesn't want to go to sleep. We put her in her crib, either dead ass asleep or very drowsy. The fucking millisecond that the fabric of her clothes touched the crib, she wakes up, screams, stands up, starts crying. And we're like, Stephanie was really good about the way she talks to Thea. Because, Thea's losing her ever-loving mind. And Stephanie's like, we love you. We're proud of you. You're going to do great. Like, affirming everything. And I'm like, go the fuck to sleep.
Will please. You just fucking sleep.
Please, like, lay down.
just lay down.
When Stephanie's in there, like, because it's gotten to the point where we trade off every hour. Because that's the only way we can really do it. And when Stephanie's in her hour, I'll hear her be like, you're amazing. You need to sleep so you can grow and be big. And when I'm in there, it's like, lay down. Head on the pillow, please. Thea.
Me too.
Thea, it's night. Okay? Night.
It is bedtime.
Night. Head on the pillow, please. It is just such a such a fucking stark difference.
Dude, what do we do to our kid? Like, what effect do you think
I don't know,
has
dude.
on our kid?
Like, I don't know, man. But now that she gags herself, well, last week she gagged herself. And so Stephanie was like, look, we can't go in there. If she's gagging herself, she's testing us. And it's true. She is totally testing the limits of like what she can do to get our attention.
Yeah.
And so Stephanie was like, next time she gags herself, we're not going in. And I was like, whatever you say, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. Because we were both reading and like looking up, like, what the fuck does this mean? How do I stop this child from doing this? Yeah. And everything that we read was like, they're just testing you. Let them do it and they'll realize how stupid it is and how much it sucks and that they don't get attention. So they'll stop doing it. Right?
Yeah.
Last week, we changed her bed cover no less than 3 times because she vomited.
Oh, man.
Because that is how committed our daughter is to the bit.
She's going too far.
She fucking vomited 3 times. 2 times in one fucking night. And
oh, man, that's
for us, it's like, we're terrible parents. But on the other side
Yeah,
of it, it needs to happen this week. She no longer gags herself.
that's right. That's
But
right.
damn.
You gotta like get her out of there, take everything off, put her, give her like a bath, and then she gets cold.
Yeah.
She'll figure it out. She'll figure it out. Like, this is
Dude.
a shitty situation. Why am I doing this?
Yeah. Now we're doing the approach, and she's been responding to it very well. We put her down in the crib, not asleep, but like very drowsy. And when she loses her mind, which happens every day, Stephanie and I have been laying down on the floor next to the crib, being like, we're here, but we ignore her completely. Basically, the like, make sleep time as boring as fucking possible move, right? While still being in the room for emotional support. But I was like, Stephanie, we need rules, man. Like, we
Yeah.
can't touch her. We're not going to talk to her. We're not going to do anything, okay? We're just a body in the room, cold as ice.
Oh my gosh. So funny.
It's been 2 nights and it's been working decently.
Okay. Okay.
But fuck, dude. My life in sleeping. I
See, we
love
have a
sleep. Why can my daughter not love
seriously.
sleep too?
And I go down like a rock. Like I'm like a switch. I hit that bed and it's sleep.
Yeah.
Turn it on. We co-slept and co-sleep still. Well, we co-slept with Io and Benji for a good long while. And then when we knew that Callum was coming, we said, well, can't do that anymore. And so I don't know. I think we just got lucky because one day we had some other beds set up in our room, like next to ours. And we were just like, okay, guys, these are your beds. Why don't you try sleeping in those? And so they slept together in like a twin. And then eventually we had two in there where they kind of slept separately. And then one day we said, we're going to move your beds into your bedroom. So that, and they would share a bedroom. And they just went in there and slept. Like,
Nice.
we were like, we thought, and we fully expected, transitioning them out of not just the bed, but out of the room was going to be
Some
a
sort of
challenge.
backlash is going to
Yeah.
happen.
They're just like, yeah, totally. And then
That's got to
they
feel so
just,
great.
oh, it was such a relief.
It's such a win. That is such a
It
win.
was such a relief. And now Callum co-sleeps with Francis. Like he nurses at night, so it just kind of works out that way.
Sure.
And she doesn't work right now, so she and the kids will get their sleep,
Mm-hmm.
and since we sleep late, they tend to sleep in. So, but they all get a good amount of sleep. It is hard because Callum gets really attached. So the minute she gets out of the bed, if he's not deep asleep, he'll wake up and he'll cry, and usually he calms down pretty quickly when she gets back. But it is, it's tough for her because
She's got to be
wants to
on
have her
call.
around all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
It got even worse like during the day when he just had, well, we've discovered, we think he just hates the office. which sucks because I'm always in the office, So if I'm gonna have him for part of the day while I'm working or something or whatever, I almost got to be in here every time.
Yeah.
So he kirks out and he just starts. It was tough. He's starting to come around where he doesn't like hate me now as much.
He's like, all right, I see the value in you.
Yeah, I'm not that bad. But yeah, it's challenging because he won't. I mean, we got him in like the jumper thingy now, which he likes, but he will only give us so long until he just starts crying. And sometimes it's like, we can only take that for so long because if it was just him, it may not be that bad. But if it's him, and then Io and Benji are going nuts about something, it's like, all right, there's too much.
There's too much.
Yeah, there's too much happening. We gotta shut something down.
Yeah.
So it gets hard even with me here because since I can't always take him, Frances is still having to do everything all by herself a lot of the time. So it's tough. Thankfully, though, sleep hasn't. I mean, I'm not the one who deals with most of it. So For me, it hasn't been that bad, except it's just I get little sleep.
Mm-hmm.
He did have a stint where, or every now and then, like he like fights it because
Yes.
like he does like angry nursing at night, which is so strange.
What?
Yeah, like normally during the day he nurses just fine, but when it's nighttime, he's laying there and he's like swinging the arms around. He'll nurse a little and then it'll like come off real fast. And it'll go back. And it's just like why aren't you just sleep? That's
Just
always the thing.
accept it.
Just go to sleep.
Yeah.
Please just go to sleep.
No, it's true, man. Thea's the same way. Like from a very early age, it just felt like she had FOMO.
Yeah.
Like somehow she's like, I'm missing out on something.
Uh-huh.
And I need to
And
be
I don't like that.
awake. And I need to be awake to experience these things.
Oh,
So you know
gosh.
what? I'm not gonna sleep.
Oh man, that's tough.
Maybe in the new year it'll change.
We should read what her sign is.
Oh, I know what she is. Remember how my sign said that like anything to do with waters, like I'm fucked?
Yeah.
So she's a water tiger.
Wow. Yeah. You're screwed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, Stephanie is also a tiger. Stephanie's a fire tiger. So I'm surrounded by tigers, but Stephanie and I are both fire, which tends to be like fire, flames feed flames kind of situation.
Yeah.
But Thea is the neutralizer, which I mean, in the past year, that seems to be the case. Obviously tensions are going to run high when both of us haven't slept and we're like, well, you fucking did this and now she's awake. It's like, I did that. Fuck you. You told me to do this other thing. And then she'll like be asleep peaceful. And we're like, man, we're amazing parents, right?
we're so good at this.
We're so good at this. It only took 6 hours this time.
Parenting, man.
Ugh. Let's pivot that into our relationships with our significant others for the past year.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, I think a child changes the mix of everything. I think that for Stephanie and I, the way we operated pre-Thea was very almost 50-50 in the way that we kind of live our lives and, whose energy kind of directs the motion of what we're doing. Mm-hmm. With maybe me being a little bit more in the lead more often, but not by much. Now I totally yield to Stephanie's, energy and direction. I mean, she fucking knows what she's doing. And even if she doesn't, she plays it off well enough to the point where I'm like, yes, that.
I buy it.
I co-sign what she said.
Makes sense to me.
And it's been nice to kind of have that like dynamic flip because you really get to see, at least for me, like I really get to see, I've obviously never seen her as a mother and like how she acts that way, but like she's in it. Like that's her jam. Nice. Is it difficult as fuck? Absolutely. But is it her jam? I think so. I fully give her a lot of the credit for like the way Thea's developing because like Stephanie is in there day in, day out doing some stuff. I'm obviously there too, guys. Like I'm not trying to say I'm not doing anything. It's just that Stephanie is like getting the books, talking to her and like doing fucking flashcards and shit like that. And like I do it too. But Thea listens to her so much more than she listens to me.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, dude. It's flip-flopped maybe twice since Thea's been born of like, I'm her dominant parent now. And then she's like, no, fuck you. I'm going back to you. You're cool again. For the past month and a half, she is attached to Stephanie. And Stephanie steps up to the plate. I think I've had to learn, as I'm sure all couples do, but learning when to shut up,
Mm-hmm.
basically, and just be like, you know what, we're good here. We don't we don't need to push this any further. We're both
Yeah.
tired. No one wants to have that argument of like, well, I woke up first today, so I'm more tired.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like, uh-huh, uh-huh.
What about you
Yeah.
guys?
So one thing that I would say we definitely do better is like after we do have a fight or a conflict about something, I think we've learned much better how to come back together,
Mm.
you know?
Hmm.
Where it's like, yeah, like okay, we're getting heated about something. We're just gonna cool off a little bit and then, kind of reconvene. And sometimes it helps to have the kids because as long as they're not pissing someone off, they still have their needs.
Yeah.
So we gotta tend to them and make sure they're taken care of. But we don't hide that we're arguing about something or fighting about something.
Hmm.
We always want to make sure that they understand that that's going to happen, but also that mom and dad are always going to figure it out and everything's going to be fine. We don't want to do the thing where you don't fight in front of them, you
Yeah.
know, and then like they kind of get this sense that it doesn't happen, and then one day it does, and they're like, I don't know what the hell's going
They're
on.
like, what the fuck is
Yeah, it's like
happening?
everything's
It's
falling
the end of the
apart.
world.
Yeah, it's like no, they have arguments, they have fights, even heated ones, but and you can recover from that.
Yeah.
Like you come back together, everything's fine. Don't worry about it. We don't hide it. It happens, but we come together faster now. Like we can kind of put those things aside, or cool our heads faster and come together. But it's just been tough. Like with the three kids now, so we're outnumbered, and the kids are old enough to be they're self sufficient, but that also means they could get into shit that they shouldn't be doing. It's not usually that bad with our kids, honestly, but it's just something that we got to be mindful of. You
Yeah.
know, like we can definitely let them do their own thing somewhere, but every once in a while, you'll go over there and you're like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Can you
you know?
stop?
Yeah, let's not do that. I think it's definitely been hard for us to really, and this has kind of been a challenge for us, maybe in general, is really carving out the time for each other. You
Mm.
know, so because we had, let's see, next year is our 10-year anniversary. Io is 7, so yeah, we were together for just a few years before we had kids. So, it's like we didn't have a ton of time to really build, like develop that before the kids started coming around. And when the kids come around, it just, it's a wrench into everything
Yes, sir.
in the best way, but it is a wrench in everything. But now with 3, it's like, well, unless we, give them off to someone else, which we could do, it's going to be pretty hard for us to have that time. I always like anytime Frances wants to go because she's an extroverted version of me essentially. If we're looking
Mm.
at personality types, so anytime she gets on the phone with somebody or wants to go somewhere with like our neighbor or with her family or whatever, I'm like yes, like I'm never gonna say no.
Sure. Yeah.
Even if it means I gotta take all 3 kids or I gotta whatever it is, like please go do it because I know
Yep.
that recharges her and I'm not always I don't know, it's weird to say, like, but I'm not always I can't always give her that,
Sure.
you know? And I don't know if that's like a just something I need to work on. I haven't really figured that out. But my energy is not always the energy she needs. And so when she wants to go and do stuff, I'm like 100%, please go do it. Um,
Yeah.
I'm the opposite. I'm like, leave me alone. I don't ever say that, but that's why I'm happy to do stuff on my own at night, even if it is like taking care of the house,
Hmm.
straighten some things up, or doing our show or doing this right now. It's like if I'm alone and doing that, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Absolutely.
And that's re-energizing for me, even though it exhausts me.
That's part of the partnership that you build, right? And I mean, I can say that for Stephanie and I think having Thea has illuminated that a little bit more. Stephanie and I are very different people. I think on the surface, you could probably look at the both of us and be like, man, that's a really social couple. Like they're
Mm.
both independently social, but like I fucking hate being social half the time
Yeah.
because I have
Yeah.
social anxiety. Like I would rather just like chill at home. Stephanie, since I've known her, like I'll never forget, and I might have said this before, like one of the first times that I hung out with Stephanie outside of like our band rehearsal context, we went to go see a friend's play and we were gonna go to the bar after just, to chill. And we were
Mm.
like, "Hey, like, come to the bar with us, chill." And she was like, "Oh, I can't. I have 3 other places to go tonight." It was like fucking 9 o'clock. And I was like, I'm sorry, the fuck did you just say?" She's like, "Yeah, I have to go over here to see this person. I'm only gonna be there for a couple minutes and maybe have a drink and then like go over here to see this person." Cause I made all these promises. I was like, "Man, go you." Because I'm going one place. I'm hanging out with one group of people. I'm not doing that shit. So I've always known that that's her vibe, right?
Mhm.
It's like she gets energized by being in that social environment. And I think she is a
Yeah.
naturally more social person and gets energized off of those interactions so much more than I do. I can
Yeah.
enjoy those interactions, but it's just not my speed.
Yeah.
And now that we have Thea and our time is like really valuable, especially our free time, I tell her all the time, I'm like, man, just go hang out with somebody. Like kind of
Yeah.
like how you said, right? It's like I will
Yeah.
watch Thea. Don't worry about that because like I have my rehearsals, which is work. And I'm
Yeah.
not always having fun there. It is work, and in some instances, I am getting paid for my time. So I'm not just chilling, but that is that is something that energizes me. Much that maybe for you, like doing this podcast or doing Pay the Price, even though it is can be taxing at times with editing and shit like that, you're still getting a net positive
Yeah.
from it, right?
Yeah. For sure.
So
Totally.
I think us acknowledging that in one another and supporting each other in that, I will be like, yo, you should probably hang out with somebody soon. Right. Not
This is why
because
they hang
like
out with each other.
not because like well, because we hang out each every day. But it's that like tired parent hangout,
Oh, no, no. I
where
mean, no, I mean, our wives go and hang out
oh,
sometimes.
I know. Those, if only we lived closer.
They're like, "Don't you want to see Eddie?" I'm like, "Well, I do hang out with Eddie."
Yeah.
Like,
We talk
just
multiple times a week.
yeah, we talk pretty often actually.
And we see each other. It's not like it's just like a phone call. Cause that's the
This is
thing
true.
too. It's like I'm assuming because I'm not Stephanie, but like I think for Stephanie, she gets that real charge from in person
Yeah,
hangouts. It's not enough over the phone, you know?
the phone works for Francis, depending on who it is,
Yeah, that's fair.
but it usually does. Usually does.
I can't imagine a realm of like being on the phone with someone at this point in my life. Just text me, please.
Just the phone. Yeah.
Yeah, just the phone. Like I'll be on a Zoom call forever, like hop on Discord and stuff like that. But like just to be on the phone, no, no,
I
thank you.
know. Like, is there? I'm like, why could you not text me? Like, do I need to hear it said?
Yeah,
I don't understand.
but overall, I will say tough but beneficial year, couple wise. Obviously, I would say we're stronger for it. Stephanie, if you disagree, you can tell me in person after you listen to this. But that is a direct. It's like a level of our partnership that I didn't know we could reach. Cause some days, like, we are just so fucking efficient. I love those days. Cause,
Oh
like I
yeah.
said before, like, she lets me sleep in, but like on the weekend, I might sleep in for like 1 hour, 2 hours more than she does. But I know that the minute that I wake up, I'm taking over and she gets like break time. to do whatever she wants. Paints, cleans the house because that gives her peace of mind as well. Even though I'm like, just sit, go TikTok
Mm-hmm.
for like half an hour, do something, stop washing dishes. But I also understand that that brings her peace. So whatever. But we know when one needs to take over, and when we see the other one like getting a little bit prickly or not feeling as great, it's like, yo, just go. I got this. I got this.
One of the other things that has absolutely been amazing this year is meeting our neighbors.
Oh.
I don't want to get too much into it because we're getting long on this one.
Sure.
But Juan, if you're listening, if you made it this far, Juan, we love you guys.
Dude, I got to meet this one.
Dude, yeah, absolutely. You guys got to come over sometime. You'll meet them. They are the freaking best. We can talk more about that another time. But yeah, that's a huge plus this year. And it's crazy because we met them because they were also pregnant at the time. Our kids were born 2 weeks apart from each other. Our first interaction with them was earlier this year, which sounds insane to me because I feel like we've known them forever.
It's been a lifetime.
Like, it's one of those neighbor relationships. Like we will go. I just went over there and brought them like, crunchy chili paste this afternoon.
What?
they gave us some poppy seed. Like it's a total. We just exchange things. We're hanging out all the time, and it's just amazing.
That's awesome.
The kids love each other. They're old enough now to start like crossing each other a little, like doing something that might upset the other kid, but they figure it out. It's great. They all love hanging out with each other. Even the infants, like we'll lay them down on like the same little pad, and they just start like punching each other. They're like slapping each other. It's freaking hilarious. Or holding hands. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. But yeah, you absolutely. Whenever you guys come over and we do karaoke, we're gonna have them over too. They may not sing.
Don't worry. I'll sing for you on.
We'll carry. Yeah. But yeah, you got to meet them. They're just incredible.
That's cool. I look forward to it.
Yeah, huge plus this year.
So as we wrap up, the final kind of plot point here, looking towards the future, how do you see your 2024 going? What are some goals you want to hit?
I think the biggest thing for 2024 is we are trying to get to Japan as a family. So Frances has been there. I have not. Her family's all going this month, so she won't be there for that. But we would like to go for our anniversary around that time frame, but that could be astronomically expensive because it's cherry blossom season.
Everyone's going.
Yeah, I mean we considered going with our other friends who live in Vegas, who could go in June because their kids are off school. But we're hearing it's just like hotter than the Philippines hot, which is just freaking absurd because it's stupid hot in the Philippines.
That is not what I'm signing up for.
If that's true, you can fuck that all the way home. Like, no, thank you.
No, thank you. I'm good.
So it could end up being later in the year as well. We're trying to figure out how that's going to work. That's the big thing. And if we don't end up doing that, then more than likely we'd go out to go see our friends in Vegas because we haven't seen them in some time. They used to live in Alaska, but great, close friends of ours. We just haven't seen them. It'd be one of those two trips, but you just got to keep things going. You know, keeping Callum happy and safe and healthy for his first year. I'm looking forward to it. Work wise, if this thing pans out, I'm really looking forward to that first review. And the calendar we use at work starts in April. So,
okay.
Yeah, so my year, quote unquote, year review would probably be around then or something. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Like, really settling in some more, making a mark, making some changes, and just kind of like you know, stepping into the role more once
Yeah.
I really understand it and making something of it. So, and of course, there's a ton of stuff we want to do for Samurai Beat. If we can really get that pay the price machine going the way that we kind of envision it going, I think that'll be phenomenal. So, really looking forward to that and another 56 episodes of The Midnight Connection.
Man.
Should be good times. We've
We're
made it
only on
past the point
episode 14.
where most people quit. We'll say that, right?
Guys, we're not quitting. Not
Most
at
people
least
would.
until we hit 20.
But it's been a lot of good pieces in place. So I'm,
That's great.
it's like looking forward to how things develop next year in a lot of different ways. What about you?
I think for next year, I need to reassert some control over my life. And I say that in a way where, no fault to anyone or because of anything. This year has felt like survival, which is like I talk about this mentality with Stephanie a lot. I think for her and I, in our youth, in our childhood, our mental lens, the way we interpreted everything, processed things, was through a lens of survival. And that doesn't leave a lot of room for like mental health consideration, physical
Okay.
health consideration, time management, like all these things. And now I don't know that I'll ever feel like we have a great grasp on being parents, because maybe if we felt that way, we probably wouldn't be being good parents.
Yeah, probably not.
But for next year, I want to kind of reclaim some of my self-care.
Okay.
And I think the way that that's going to look is by not spreading myself out too thin, not saying yes to everything that I want to do. Obviously, like exercising more, eating better, being around Thea, like fully mentally present. I think Thea is now getting to the point in her life where like she will remember things, or at
Yeah.
least it will be internalized and then come out some different way for a therapist to uncover later in life. And I want to make sure that I'm there, that the way she sees me in her memories in the future is as someone who took care of themselves, in order to model that for her.
Right. Right.
So I hope, and I will work towards, for 2024 kind of coming back and not, I don't know, taking better care of myself, and I think
I
that's
hear
going to
that.
lead me to not be as tired and to like just, I don't know, be more cheery in general, I suppose.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll still be recording at midnight/1 a.m. at least once a week, because that's part of
That's
my
right.
mental health too. This is cheaper than therapy.
Hey. Oh.
Oh man, do you think we should end this with what your lunar calendar says for the coming year?
Oh, is it there already?
Yeah, it is. I've
I
been had
mean,
it.
yeah, let's do
Are
it.
you ready? This is
Bring it
quick.
home.
This is quick.
Please be good. Please be good.
They
If it
they have
sucks,
it.
please just make it up.
Okay. So next year is the year of the dragon. All right.
Okay. All right. All right.
For Monkey. Monkey will enjoy good fortune in 2024 since it won't be
Oh,
bothered by the dragon, and will have the backing of a few minor advantageous aspects. Can you say full speed ahead?
oh shit.
It's not all balanced, Monkey, since
Oh
hard
God.
work and finance seems especially favored this year, but romance and health may prove somewhat tricky. Nothing you can't handle, so don't sweat the small stuff. Not bad.
I like that.
Not
I
bad.
like that. Okay.
All
I'm on
right.
board. Full steam ahead.
Let's see what it says for the rabbit. After a hard year. It's going to be worthless.
Takes another downturn.
After a tough zodiac year, rabbits will still need to withstand considerable pressure in 2024 since dragon clashes with rabbit, meaning it's rabbit's year of offending the god Tai Sui, which is the dragon. Even though inauspicious signs abounds for rabbits, as long as you stay positive and under the radar, don't take unnecessary trips or outings, and keep an upbeat mindset. This year won't be impossible to navigate.
Won't be impossible.
Wow.
That's a nice way of putting it.
That's a nice, yes. You ain't out of the woods yet, rabbit. Well, that's fine. I can deal with that.
It's okay. You can use some of my monkey momentum.
You know what, Chris? I will take it. Thank you.
Right. Yeah, get on board. Let's go.
And that's going to do it for this episode of The Midnight Connection. As always, we want to thank you guys, and we encourage you guys to also take a self-reflection about how your year was. Feel free to comment and email us to let us know. And if not, don't let us know, but let yourself know. Because it's a great thought exercise to put things in perspective. I know that for me personally, seeing everything written down in a very loose way shows me a lot of things that I can be proud of this year, can show me a lot of things that I want to work on for next year. And I think overall it's a healthy exercise for us to do as the year's ending. As always, you guys can find us on all social media at The Midnight Connection Pod. If you want to leave us a review or some 5 stars on your podcasting platform of choice, it is extremely welcomed. The holidays, once people get out of work, is a great time to consume podcasts. So if you know somebody that might be interested, share an episode with them. It doesn't have to be the first episode. No one needs to catch up if they don't want to. Show them the episode you love the most, and then we'll take it from there. But as always, we're very thankful for you guys, and we will catch you next time at midnight.
Thanks for tuning in to The Midnight Connection. The Midnight Connection is a product and trade comments and topics for future shows. For copyright purposes, all music used during the episode was used in place of the original works mentioned in the show. You will find all relevant credits and licenses, as well as links to all of the original content in the show description. We seek to entertain and build a community of adulting gamers like you, and we appreciate your support, your confidence, and your inspiration. Thank you.